Paperboy Gotta Go Production.
This podcast may speak on subjects that some viewers may find uncomfortable. Some of the topics spoken about in this podcast may not be suitable for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hola.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the Wheeze.
Welcome to the Wheeze.
I guess Clint is not my. Okay, there he is.
Oh.
Hello.
Thank you for calling Microsoft.
Okay.
Goodbye. And then you just the Wheeze.
Right.
Start us off, Lips, because you do the research.
But Clint didn't say welcome to the Wheeze.
Welcome to the Wheeze, honey bunny.
Welcome to the Wheeze.
Welcome to the Wheeze, everybody. Welcome to the Wheeze.
Okay.
We've been having miscommunications today.
Listen, some of us just don't keep up with the group chat sometimes, okay? Okay. Anyway, so we're going to do the kidnapping of Colleen Stan, which is Colleen J. Stan, if you will. She was born December 31st, 1956. Huh?
For the public, okay, so I've decided.
You decided.
I know y'all didn't. I hadn't said anything about it beforehand, but I think we need to make up something for our viewers that listen through the whole podcast, because I know like last episode had some territory is what I want to say. Like if you get through the whole podcast, even if it's messed up, you get a special sticker. So I'm just going to inform our listeners from the get-go here. There are going to be times in this story that it's going to be special sticker territory. And if you listen through the full podcast, y'all get a special sticker. And you'll know which ones are coming up, Libs. So you'll know. So we'll just say, special sticker or special sticker territory. However you want to do it.
Okay. What's the special sticker?
Right. I want to know this too.
It's not an actual sticker. They just get a props on you for staying through the whole thing. A good back, a special sticker.
Okay.
So what you want me to make is stickers now? I have to make stickers?
You don't have to make stickers. You don't have to do anything.
Okay. All right. Good.
Because the special sticker, not everybody gets a special sticker. It's only the ones that listen to the whole episode.
Okay.
Do we put something at the end of the episode, like something that they can, tell us that they like watch the whole episode?
Listen.
There'll be a code phrase, and you'll know what it is.
Leave a comment on Spotify, YouTube. I don't know if you can leave comments on Apple Podcasts. Just comment special sticker.
I would say, can we make up a different word at the end of the podcast?
Yeah. Like this is the beginning, but at the end, one of us needs to say a special word.
We needed this for last podcast, for the last episode we recorded.
Well, too late. We have to start it now. I ain't going back to record that episode.
But it's okay because this episode and this story, as y'all know, because I've listened to this story before, is pretty. There's special stickers territory throughout.
Oh, okay. So what you're saying is some of this is pretty graphic. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you could have just said that. Goddamn.
Here I am, like, oh my gosh. Let's throw out some emojis.
I don't want to say graphic though, because I don't want us to get canceled. Okay.
Right. Okay. Special sticker. Okay.
All right. My whole life is a special sticker moment.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Is that for people that live a normal life, unlike us three, they deserve a special sticker. Okay.
Is it normal life? Did you just say a normal life?
Yeah, I said for people who live normal lives, unlike us three.
Oh, I was all like, we live a normal life?
No, unlike.
Damn.
Right.
No, if my life is normal, then I would hate to see fucked up.
Right.
So All right.
Okay.
Anyways, get back to the story. This is confusing.
Yeah.
Right. Anyways, so
I'm
the
editing that
kidnapping.
out.
Well, the kidnapping of Colleen J. Stan, born December 31st, 1956, is kidnapped and held as a sex slave by Cameron and Janice Hooker.
Hooker.
In,
Yes. Hooker.
in their Red Bluff, California home for over 7 years. Between 1977 and 1984. At Cameron Hooker's trial, Stan's experience was described as unparalleled in FBI history.
Special sticker.
Right.
Every time you stutter.
Right. Well, goddamn, people, we need a sticker subscription at this point. Her case
Every time Livs misreads something, it's a special sticker.
Right. Her case has received international publicity and has been the subject of multiple books, films, and television series. Okay, so we're going to go into the kidnapping. In 1977, Colleen Stan was hitchhiking from her home in Eugene, Oregon, to a friend's home in Northern California, where she was heading to a birthday party. Cameron Hooker, born
She was
November.
hitchhiking?
Yes.
Yes.
To a birthday party.
Yes.
Yes. This is back in the day.
Whose birthday party is this? Because I'm like, I would never. Sorry, I'm not going to your birthday party.
Right.
This is back in what is this? The 70s, right?
I don't care what time it is.
Right.
That's what everybody did.
I'm sorry, but like hitchhiking from Oregon to California. Okay, like you hitchhiking a whole different state. Like I get like bumming the ride down the road.
That's vagabond lifestyle right there, Libs. That's your lifestyle.
You know what? It is. You're right. You're right.
Special sticker.
You're right. Special sticker. Okay, Cameron Hooker, who was born November 5th, 19... with our little Scorpio baby here, kidnapped 20-year-old Stan after picking her up. Stan has stated that she was an experienced hitchhiker and had allowed two rides
she's experienced.
To go, right?
Yeah.
She allowed 2 rides to go past before accepting the ride with Hooker. So she wasn't that experienced. Okay.
Well, I mean,
she should be able to spot a creep a mile away if she's experienced.
Right.
The thing though is that this is like late 60s, early 70s, and that's how everybody got around was hitchhiking.
I don't care what time it is. She's experienced.
Right.
That's how like all these serial killers were able to get away with all this shit back then, because people just willingly got in your car. I don't know nothing about you, but I'm going to take a ride with you for a long distances at a time.
Okay. Well, she reportedly felt confident climbing into the blue van because Hooker's wife, Janice, and their baby were in the car. When they stopped at a gas station along the way, Stan went to use the restroom. A voice told me to run and jump out a window and never look back, she recalled. But she calmed her fears. Of course she did. Right. Of course she did. Right. But she calmed her fears and went back into the car. According to Stan and Janice Hooker's testimonies, Hooker pulled off the highway and put a knife to Stan's throat once they were alone in an isolated area. She was subsequently locked in a wooden head box that was designed to prevent light, sound, and fresh air from entering. So now we're going to move on to the imprisonment.
Special sticker.
Right.
Throw it out there.
This whole episode is going to be special sticker because they can.
You should be saying this, sir. You brought this idea up. You should be saying special sticker, special sticker.
I knew you would remember, Lori. Okay, I knew it. But this is the deal. Just think about that for a minute, though. You get into it's gonna be okay. It's just a normal dude, his wife, and their baby. And then all of a sudden, he puts you in this box on your head that you can't hear, see, smell. You know, he put it on her head.
Yeah. No.
How fucked up is that?
I mean, is it fucked up?
I mean, it's her fault. She's experienced.
Right. I mean, she was experienced. She fucking knew.
Man, she should have listened to the voices in her head.
Right. telling her to run.
So usually, if you listen to those, it leads you down a bad place.
Apparently not.
Don't listen to the voices in your head, viewers.
Right.
That's bad advice.
Is it?
Is it though?
Yeah.
Is it?
I mean,
Yeah.
she got locked. She didn't listen to the voices in her head, and she got locked in the box.
Yeah, she got put in a head box.
But then also you got the lady that shot up that mall with the AK-47 because she listened to the voices in her head.
They probably deserved it. Okay.
Just it's probably not good to listen to the voices in your head.
They're asking for it.
I don't think it was in her head. I think it was her conscience. Like, get the fuck out.
Special sticker moment.
Yeah. All right. Continue.
Sorry.
So the imprisonment. Before this, Cameron, then a lumber mill worker at Diamond International Lumber Mill, and Janice had reached an agreement that he could capture a slave to take Janice's place, because up until that time, Cameron had been using Janice to act out sexual bondage. There was to be no penetrative sex with Stan, according to the agreement, but later this changed. On the first night of her kidnapping, by her hands, physically attacked by Cameron, and left blindfolded and suspended while the pair had sex below her. After her kidnapping, Stan stated that she was tortured and kept locked in a box 23 hours a day until she was given a contract and forced to sign herself into slavery for life in January 1978. In view from the box, purse under the bed, was a photo with a previous victim whose body was never found. She further,
I was like, who is this person?
Right? She further stated,
So they had, I don't know if they had multiple victims or just a one girl, but they had done this before. And the most messy thing about this is that the wife was basically like, look, I'm not into all this BDSM like you are. So yes, kidnap people, BDSM on them as long as you're not doing.
Damn.
Like how is
Same
that?
though, like. Anyways,
she further stated that Cameron led her to believe that she was being watched by a large, powerful organization called The Company.
The Company.
Yeah,
Oh,
The Company.
Mysterious.
Which would painfully torture her and harm her family if she tried to escape. Stan subsequently became a slave referred to as K, was forced to call Cameron master, and was not allowed to talk without permission. Cameron reportedly wanted Stan to be like the female character in the 1954 French erotic novel Story of O, and soon started raping her, which consisted of oral rape. Cameron did not want to have vaginal sex with Stan because he considered that to be a breach in his agreement with his wife. Instead, he raped her vaginally and anally with implements. Following this, the Hooker family moved to a mobile home in Red Bluff with Stan, where she was kept locked in wooden boxes under the couple's water bed. In 1978, Janice gave birth to a second child on the waterbed above Stan.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That sucks. Stan, special sticker moment. Stan said that her faith in God and belief in a chance of escape helped her survive. Her greatest fear was the company, which Cameron reinforced. The company. To avoid painful punishments, Stan tried to comply with his commandments, which later led to her being allowed to go out to jog, work in the yard, care for the family's children in the mobile home, and help him build bigger accommodations, like an underground dungeon for more slaves. Even with an open door, neighbors, and a telephone, she made no attempt to escape. The company kept her from seeking help.
The
company.
It's just me saying the company.
Right. Additionally, Stan was allowed to visit her family by herself in 1981, but did not reveal her situation due to her fear of the possible consequences. Her family thought she was involved in a cult because of her homemade clothes, lack of money, and absence of communications over the years. They did not want to pressure her, fearing she would stay away forever. The next day, Stan returned for a second visit, with Hooker posing as her boyfriend. At the trial, Stan explained that she was happy about visiting her family, who were therefore able to take a photograph of her and Cameron happily smiling together.
Yeah,
Okay.
see, that's the thing, is he brought her back to her family during this time while she's being a slave in a fucking box. And
Right.
she was so far into Stockholm
The
and being scared and everything else that she didn't say anything. And then the family was just like, she might be in a cult or something. We're just going to ignore it. If I would have done that to my family, my dad would have been all over that shit real quick. We're like, okay, something's going on. This is weird.
Right. I get, well, they were probably like sus, and then they were probably like,
well, they thought she was in a cult. So,
yeah, like, if they would have pressured her to stay there, and then she would have went back, right? They were afraid that she would never come back again.
Right.
So, yes, and everybody might think that her signing a contract to the company,
The company.
crazy, but you got to think about it as it's Stockholm syndrome. She's been with them for so long, and she's afraid of what's going to happen. She doesn't really know anything about this dude. He's threatening not just her life, but also now her family's life. So, I mean, she feels like she has no options. So, I can understand why she did it, especially back then, because they didn't have cell phones and shit back then.
Right.
Okay,
It was
my thing is, okay, these kids, okay, I feel like are about to go to school. Like this one is at least the oldest one, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but kids like tell everything. They don't leave anything out. So how do they go
maybe
to
they're
school?
homeschooling the kids.
Oh, maybe.
They could be homeschooling the kids, or I mean, it could just be that she's a live-in nanny.
But I feel like at one point they would have seen this girl in the box eventually, because kids walk into rooms just willy-nilly, okay?
And if they do, and they're that young still, like when they got older, it'd be different. When they're that young, you could just play it off as, oh, we're just playing a game, or oh, we're just doing this. You know what I mean?
Okay, but like, so this girl that I worked with at the time, her cousin, okay?
Was he in a box?
Mom, no, their mom would do some drugs, okay?
Yeah.
In the bathroom. Obviously, the kid walks into the bathroom and she's like, oh, we're painting, obviously, like mid doing drugs. And she drew this. She's like, that's my mom painting.
Why's your mom got a crack pipe? That's not a crack pipe.
So, in my head, I'm all like, this kid's drawing this girl in the box and being like, this is our nanny.
Yeah, but see, it's the same thing. Like, this is like that the post on Facebook that you see of the lady and people, and she's holding what looks like a stripper pole, and
it's like shovels or something.
Yeah, and she's selling snow shovels. So I mean, teachers, they might ask questions, but then the parents are going to answer, oh, they're just play a game, or oh, this or that, and then they're going to leave it alone. You see what I'm saying?
Right, but what if the child goes to school and draws a woman in a fucking box under the bed, okay?
That's my nanny.
My nanny's just chilling in the box. We just put her there sometimes, okay?
Well, I mean, she was actually cleaning underneath her bed one day.
In a box.
Yeah, or she could be like cleaning out of a box. You see what I'm saying? Now, like, if the kids got older, if it would have lasted long enough to where when the kids got older, then it'd be harder to explain. And then there's people, they should be like, my nanny's a fucking vampire. She sleeps in a coffin underneath my parents' bed. What?
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, according to Stan, Hooker feared he had given his slave too much freedom and took her back to his mobile home, where he locked her in the wooden box under his waterbed. She remained in the box for 23 hours a day for the next 3 years. Bodily functions were dealt with by her using a bedpan, which she positioned under herself with her feet, and it was stated in court that Hooker's children were told Kay had gone home. However, once his children had gone to bed, Hooker would take Stan out of the box to feed and torture her. She was reportedly not allowed to make any noise and had to lie still 23 hours at a time in the dark with little air to breathe. During the summers, conditions were especially harsh on her, as the temperature in her box would rise above over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And to feed herself, she ate scraps of food.
I would die.
Right.
I mean, she's like real close. Like everybody was like super amazed that she survived for 7 years.
Right, being trapped in a box, only eating scraps, just laying there for 23 hours a day.
This isn't, and like there's pictures, or at least I think there's pictures of the box that she was in, and it's literally like a coffin-sized box. Like she didn't have enough room to move or nothing. She was literally on her back, looking up constantly.
Ugh, I would die.
So now we're going into the escape and the trial. It was not until 1983 that Stan reintroduced to the children. She was reintroduced to the children and the neighbors. She was also allowed to get a job as a maid at a motel. Hooker wanted Stan to become
his second, more freedom because he has her under his control now.
Right. Well, Hooker wanted Stan to become his second wife, which was a turning point for Janice. Janice confessed that starting with their first date, she had also been tortured, brainwashed, and referred to as a whore over the years by Cameron. Janice further stated that she survived their relationship by engaging in denial and compartmentalization. By August 1984, Janice began struggling with herself and went to Stan in order to inform her that Hooker was not part of the company. However, she maintained that the organization did exist. In a televised interview for Girl in the Box, which is the movie about this situation, Stan told the interviewer that she then went to a bus station and phoned Hooker to inform him that she was leaving him, and that he reacted by bursting into tears. Stan subsequently caught a bus home. In the months that followed, she did not contact the police but continued to call Hooker regularly. She explained this at the trial by saying that she wanted to give Hooker, at Janice's request, a chance to reform. 3 months later, Janice reported her husband to the police. She informed Lieutenant Jerry D. Brown of the Red Bluff Police that Cameron had kidnapped, tortured, and murdered Marie Elizabeth Spinacki, whatever the fuck her name is.
Special sticker moment.
Right. Who had disappeared on January 31st, 1976. Authorities were unable to relocate the remains of the woman due to the lack of physical proof. No murder charge was brought. Chris Hatcher, a forensic psychologist and criminal profiler, tested for Cameron's prosecution at the start of the 1985 trial. And Janice testified against her husband in exchange for full immunity. In the end, Hooker was sentenced to consecutive prison terms totaling 104 years for sexual assaults, kidnapping, and using a knife in the process. Originally ineligible for parole until 2023, he had his hearing date moved up 7 years to 2015 by California's elderly parole program. On April 16, 2015, his request for parole was denied, and Hooker will be eligible for another hearing in 2030. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, California officials contacted Stan and advised her that they were looking into possibly granting Hooker parole in March 2021.
Oh my gosh.
Instead of a parole hearing, authorities scheduled a hearing in September 21 to decide if Hooker should be classified as a sexual violent predator.
Well, yeah.
Which would result in his civil commitment to a state hospital. After the trial, Stan studied for accounting degree, and as reported by Mara whatever in a March 2014 New York Daily Times news article, tried to move on to a normal life, but misery followed her. A string of failed marriages and a troubled child now in jail. Stan also joined and volunteered for Reading Women's Refugee Center, an organization to help abused women. Janice reverted to her maiden name, Lashley, became a registered associate. Right.
Yeah.
Which lashes, baby.
I don't think Janice should have gotten off, because pretty much.
Right. I mean, like, she did all this.
Are you saying women can't get off?
Right.
I'm saying she shouldn't have got away with it, because she said that she was tortured and stuff at the start of the marriage. But were you really, though?
Right.
I think she was saying that shit just to protect herself. One.
Yep.
For two,
Right.
she just decided, I'm going to fuck off and leave this poor girl with this man, knowing what's going on, and not say anything for so long.
I think maybe she was, like, not necessarily abused to the same level as, like, stuck in a fucking box, but, like, maybe he was, like, a little bit dickish to her. Maybe he was, like, a little.
I'm sure he abused her, but not to the extent
I don't think she should have got off, because, like you said, bitch, you was sitting here letting this bitch get tortured for fucking 7 years.
Didn't she put a knife to her neck or something?
Yeah.
Like in the beginning, in like the van?
Yeah, the thing is that Janice was an accomplice in the torture at some point.
Right.
She did to Colleen.
I don't think she should have got off, but they were all like, well, since technically she didn't do it and we need the tea, we gotta give this bitch immunity so we can get the tea.
Yeah, and I see where that comes from, but it's still, it pisses me off, because she's such a shitty person. She is a shitty person.
But that being said, this bitch is such a shitty person, but she joined that volunteer for Reading Women's Refugee Center, and an organization to help abused women. Janice reverted to her middle name, Lashley, became a registered associate social worker, and has worked as a mental health professional.
No, ma'am.
Right. Stan has changed her last name. Both Janice and Stan to continue to live in California, and they do not communicate with each other. No fucking shit.
Bullshit.
Communicate with her either. Fuck that. Like, how you left me? Me there, knowing what was going on, and didn't say shit about it. Think he can change? I think, no, bitch, he can't change. You left me here. If you could change, why ain't you here?
Right.
Sorry.
But, yeah, that's basically it. And then the rest of it is just saying about how it's had a cultural impact. There's been 2 films made about it. The Poughkeepsie tapes in 2007, which was based on this case, and it's an American documentary style horror film.
Oh yeah, the Poughkeepsie tapes it's a good movie, but it's fucked. It's a good movie, but it's messed up.
And then on September 10th, 2016, a televised movie based on the case titled Girl in the Box premiered on Lifetime, starring Addison Timlin as Colleen Stan, Zane Holt as Cameron Hooker, and Zelda Williams as Janice Hooker. So Robin Williams' daughter.
What?
Robin Williams' daughter.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
I said I don't put much faith into Lifetime anymore since I found out they made a KFC movie. So.
Was it that real though?
Yes.
I was gonna say I watched this Girl in the Box movie when it came out. and it was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Lifetime literally made a movie about KFC called Recipe for Seduction.
Same.
And and Mario Lopez was the Colonel.
I'm down for this.
I saw a thing about it, but I didn't know.
It's a legit thing. Like it's a mini movie or whatever, so it's only like 30 minutes long or whatever. But it's a Lifetime mini movie. And
I might
I
have
watched
to check this out with my fucking chicken.
because when I saw a KFC Lifetime movie, it piqued my interest, and I was like, okay.
I just want to know where you're scrolling that you see the KFC Lifetime movie and you're like, yes, this is up my alley.
Well, I was watching a thing on YouTube about like stuff that's happened that you wouldn't believe. And the first thing was that KFC made a gaming console that has a chicken warmer in it. It's a legit thing. And then they made the Lifetime movie called Recipe for Seduction. So I watched it because I was like, there ain't no way. And I watched it, and it's about as bad as it seems. Especially because they have Mario Lopez as the Colonel, who's supposed to be an old guy, but instead of making Mario, they just gave him gray hair and a gray goatee like the Colonel. But he's all buff and he wears like the Colonel's shirt with the little black tie on it.
Damn.
It's
Special sticker
great.
moment.
I don't know if that's a
KFC
special.
movie. I think that's traumatic.
I mean, it's kind of traumatic. It's more dumb than it is traumatic. So yeah. And in this, we really didn't go into like the reason why I said this was going to be a bad one is because when I read about this, or when I heard about this, and I watched a documentary on the girl in the box, it went into all the sexual stuff that he did to her, the torture and stuff, and like there's torture, there's inserting objects in places that aren't supposed to be there. And it's.
I mean, I feel like we covered that.
Yeah, like it said that. It just didn't go into detail.
That's what I'm saying. The documentary that I watched went into detail about like what the objects were, how long for, all this other stuff, and it is a terrible, terrible case, and it's one of the cases that shows a good step of a good thing of how Stockholm syndrome is real, kind of like that. What was her name? The J.C. Dugard or whatever, the girl that was like kidnapped for like 18 years.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
She had 2 kids by her kidnapper. Yeah. So. But
crazy.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it's crazy how many cases like this happen. Like there was a documentary on Netflix about a guy named Joseph Fritzl.
Fuck Joe.
And y'all know what I'm talking about? Y'all know who I'm talking about? He kidnapped his own daughter and put her in a dungeon underneath his house.
No, I have not heard that one.
I was like, no.
Oh, that's Joseph Fritzl in Germany. And he literally kidnapped his oldest daughter and made a dungeon underneath their house, and she had like I think like 3 or 4 kids by him.
Ew.
And he just made everybody believe that she ran away. And like he went through meticulously to make the dungeon because it had like 7 separate doors, so you couldn't hear nothing. And like he was gonna keep her there forever, and then eventually some stuff went down and he got caught.
Imagine if people would like put more effort into working on themselves than building a whole ass dungeon to kidnap their
Right?
fucking daughter.
That's what you call emotional damage. My dad didn't love me when I was younger, so I'm gonna build a fucking dungeon. Then,
So I could love my child.
yeah, but
In all the wrong
funny.
ways.
You think like that this is like one case in a billion, but no, there's a lot of people who've built dungeons because they've had bad paths. Like the guy, there's a guy in New York, I can't remember his name, but he had built a dungeon in his basement, and he only had mentally handicapped black women down there because he was going to try to impregnate them and make a master race, and he only fed them dog food.
Oh my. Oh, same. You were in that situation.
Yeah.
That's what happened to you, Lips.
Yeah.
That's why you are.
Yeah, that's why I am the way that I am.
I was part of the dog food sex dungeon. No,
Same.
there's that. And
Can we
then
make that a sticker?
Yes, that's
I was part of the.
the
Put
dog
it on
food
your
sex
bumper sticker.
dungeon. I was part of the dog food sex dungeon. People are gonna be like, "What the fuck is that?" Oh, I would honk for that. Make a sticker that says "honk for dog food sex dungeon." Honk honk.
Anyways, it's been
Yeah.
fun, guys.
Yep.
It's been fun. All right.
Bye.
All right.
Are you
Bye.
gonna say it?
Oh, I gotta go.